Here we go, guys. Time for Avengers and X-Men Axis 6. Yes, this is Axis 6. Previously, we can see over here processing that one. So here we go for the review. What they're saying about this one in the internet. I have searched so many times yesterday, but today I got this review and I have to tell my own opinions too. So the X-Men have essentially taken over all of New York and are planning something big to make sure they completely take over the world. Elsewhere, some shenanigans are taking place with the other heroes and villains that were inverted. It pretty much took Avengers and X-Men Axis 6 issues for the overall narrative to finally get going. Well, almost anyways, we'll actually get the story in the next issue during the final third of the book, considering this issue was primarily set up without any payoff. So looking back, we had a 3-issue prologue, a 3-issue setup, and then 3 actual stories. That's some aggravating plotting, folks. We got to see the villains acting more heroic this time around, which is very good since they were completely underutilized up until now. You see all of the character inversion stuff you may have wanted to see was in the tie-ins and stuff. Yes, I really like it about the Hobgoblin and Nightcrawler and everyone that is, and also Carnage. Those are the issues I really like it. I also love when the bad guy is doing good things. That is pretty much cool. The story here isn't much to write home about here either, just a lot of jumbled scenes where we see the heroes and villains get into a shuffle and then take off, rinse and repeat until the ending. We don't really learn anything new until the ending, so the comic feels like it is slightly padded out. Besides that though, there are a couple of plot points that really don't make much sense and feel really contrived. The whole superhero Iron Man scene references the fact that the Extremis app costs money and that Daredevil has been dealing with the rise of crime. However, according to the comic, that stuff should be taking place after Axis and not during it. There's also the fact that the comic says that all of the world's superheroes have been shrunk down. I'm sorry, but when did that happen? Yes, we saw a bunch of heroes in the last issue get captured, but that wasn't every hero in the entire world. What about Captain Universe, Manifold, Squirrel Girl, Jessica Jones, and blah blah blah, etc. That being said, the characterization are in Avengers and X-Men Axis issue 6, inverse or not, still works and fits the characters well. The dialogue is enjoyable, especially in Thor and Loki scene. The pacing is alright, and so is the story flow. There's not much else true to really chew in, but I really like it when the Tony Stark's doing party. It's full of chicks, that's why. So it's been a good hot chicks kind of scene, and here it is on Daredevil. The sunlight falls and it's been a pretty much of really based on colors. That is great. So according to the IGN review, I have to admit it, and IGN, I think in these days IGN are really getting cheap or for giving reviews. They are not giving reviews much, not much of points. They've given Spider-Woman only 5. That is really bad. At least they should have given 6 or 7. Okay, I'm not being judgmental. I don't want to say about critic or something because they're masters, so doesn't hold water. About this one, they're saying if we were hoping for Avengers and X-Men Axis to certainly get better than keep hopping between the creators and the concept, there was certainly a lot of potential in this event, but it has not lived up to it. Red Skull obtaining the power of a god, Apocalypse returning, the Avengers and X-Men going crazy evil, and Marvel's villains going crazy good. It could have been an intriguing exploration of the concept of good and evil focused around the year-spanning story of young Avengers Genesis. Yet we are left with a story that jumps around to different characters behaving cartoonishly opposite of who they truly are without a strong narrative to make it all gel together. Yes, I just said before, I earlier said it, that when I like it when the bad guys are doing the good things. So more than anything, Axis feels like it exists to set up stories in other times comics. That's been a long-standing complaint about Event Comics, namely because it makes the core series a hollow outline that can only be filled in by purchasing a slew of Time Comics. A 9-part event is expensive enough without all that business. Issue 6 is full of scenarios that could have been interesting but ultimately fell flat. Rogue and Nightcrawler greeting Mystique, Daredevil confronting jerk Iron Man, Scarlet Witch finally attacking Doctor Doom for wrecking her life, Loki reaching a helping hand out to Thor, Sabretooth acting like Wolverine. These are cool interactions that any Marvel fan would be eager to see, except Asgardian one. Because what about Thor makes gambling his most evil desire, yet they wind up having little meat on the bone. Really, those scenes just serve to round everyone up for that final group shot. A group shot that should have been cool, except for the fact that half the characters have not played much of a role, if any, in Axis. Remember when Iron Man and company assembled the Thunderbolts in Civil War? Now that was a group shot. The artwork was sublime last issue, and while it's generally solid this time around, there were a few instances of characters looking like they're missing some final touches and a lack of background details. Yes, that was pretty much of with that is drawback. I'm also left wondering why the opening page needed to be 4 entirely black panels, save for some word balloons. Surely that would have been a great opportunity to show the rest of the world's response to the catastrophic events of Axis, or at least I'm assuming they were catastrophic. Apocalypse and the X-Men taking over the Manhattan sounded cool, but it happened off panel. Yes, that's it. So the verdict about this one, I just says that Avengers and X-Men Axis comes to the flaws of event comics, leaving us with a hollow story that never gets to dig in to deliver the good stuff. The quality of the artwork is solid overall, but there are a few noticeable issues. Axis is bittersweet in that it's a story that long-time Marvel readers have been dying for, yet will find hard to be satisfied by. Yeah, that it's not satisfiable. So is it good? Avengers and X-Men issue 6 is a big step backwards. Yes, the story finally feels like it's taking off, but it took way too long to get to this point. This issue, yes, 6 issues, almost $24 or $30 you have to spend it. So this issue is still just set up. The story was messy and poorly told overall, and the artwork didn't enhance everything like it should have. So hope you guys have enjoyed it, and if you really like to read it further, go to the store and buy the comics and help the creators. That will be a great supporting act for the creators. That will be good. So thanks for watching, and like it. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.